Hello, welcome to Sleepy Historian. The word emperor instantly conjures an image in most of our minds, doesn't it? A wise and just ruler seated on a golden throne, wrapped in silk. We imagine a leader who governs his people like a father, and a court where everyone lives in peace. But history gives us a very different picture. The story of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, reveals the dark truth hidden behind that golden throne and silk curtains. This man became king at only 13. He united the 7 kingdoms after 11 years of bloody wars. He sent millions to their deaths. And in the end, he turned into a madman searching for immortality. Tonight, we'll move beyond legends and look at the facts. We'll step into the chaotic world of the Warring States period. We'll walk the palace's shadowed corridors through the eyes of a child king. And we'll witness the birth of an empire, one of humanity's greatest construction projects. But before we begin, a small favor: if you could take a minute to like the video and subscribe to the channel, that would be wonderful. It's a simple but very meaningful way to support this channel, and it means more to me than you might think. Also, please share in the comments where and at what time you join me tonight. I'd love that. Those little messages from different corners of the world keep this community alive. Now, settle in comfortably. Let the noise of the modern world slowly fade away. And together, let's return to a time when bamboo rustled, silk rippled, and bronze swords gleamed, to 259 BCE. Our story doesn't begin with an emperor. It begins with a child. Ying Zheng, a 13-year-old boy. And you will see that era through this child's eyes. Imagine that you are this child. It is a cold winter morning. You stand in the great hall of the Qin capital, Xianyang, in a vast wooden palace. The ceilings are so high they almost disappear into darkness. Thick wooden pillars are carved with dragons and phoenixes and painted in red and gold. But this magnificent hall is quiet right now. An eerie silence. Before you stands a large throne of black silk embroidered with dragon motifs. Its edges are inlaid with gold. The arms are decorated with bronze lion heads. This throne is the symbol of the strongest of the 7 kingdoms. And now, at 13, this throne is yours. Your father is dead. King Xuanxiang died suddenly after ruling only 3 years. No one believes it was natural. The palace is full of whispers. Poison? Assassination? But no one speaks openly. The walls have ears. And one wrong word could mean waking up the next morning with a spear through your head. You are now king. But only in name. The man who holds real power stands directly behind you now, in the throne's shadow. Lu Buwei, the Chancellor, your father's closest friend. And, some whisper, your real father. Lu Buwei was a wealthy merchant. He came from an ordinary family, but his intelligence and ambition brought him to the palace. He stood by you when you were still a prince, living as a hostage in enemy lands. He supported you financially, and even found you a wife. Your mother. The beautiful, clever, and dangerous Lady Zhao. But the rumors grow darker. Some say Lu Buwei slept with your mother before introducing her to the king. And you may be the son of a merchant, not a king. Those whispers gnaw at you from the inside. But there is no time to dwell on it now. Before the throne, hundreds of palace officials and generals kneel. They bow their heads to show obedience. But in their eyes, you see calculation more than respect. They know you are only a child. Lu Buwei makes the real decisions. The generals report to him. You only listen, nod, and do as you are told. Lu Buwei steps forward. He bows deeply. His voice is strong and clear. My young king, the Qin kingdom now rests on your shoulders. I, your loyal servant, will guide you at every step. His words are respectful, but you can see the light in his eyes. This is not the look of a servant. It is the look of a true master. The early years pass like this. You sit on the throne, attend ceremonies, seal decrees. But you do not actually make the decisions. Lu Buwei does. Generals bring reports. You only observe. Your days follow strict discipline. You rise at dawn. Eunuchs and palace attendants come to your chamber to bring warm water for washing. Breakfast is simple: steamed rice, pickled vegetables, and perhaps some fish. It may be modest for a king, but Qin tradition values discipline over luxury. After breakfast, lessons begin. Your tutor, an elderly scholar, reads Confucius teachings, stories of former kings, and war strategies. You memorize characters written on strips of bamboo. Each bamboo strip contains a piece of wisdom. But other things truly capture your interest. In the afternoons, you're taught the arts of war: swordsmanship, archery, and horsemanship. The instructors are harsh. If you make a wrong move, you're corrected immediately. A king cannot be weak, they shout. Your enemies will smell weakness and attack. But at night, the palace becomes a different place. When you go to your mother Lady Zhao's quarters, strange sounds come from behind the walls. Laughter, whispers. Your mother is still young and beautiful. Lu Buwei still visits her. One night you wait in the corridor. Your attendants have left you a few steps ahead and are waiting nearby. But your curiosity pulls you forward. You quietly approach and peer through the heavy silk curtain at the entrance to your mother's chamber. Inside you see your mother. She wears a silk dress, her hair disheveled. Lu Buwei sits close beside her. They are intimate. Too close. Too comfortable. Your heart breaks in that instant. You are a king, but nobody respects you. Not even your mother takes you seriously. She plays her own games. Lu Buwei plays his. And you are only a puppet, a trinket. That night, lying in the dark, you make a vow. One day, real power will be yours. One day, no one will dare toy with you. One day, you will be more than a king, you will be an emperor. And everyone will tremble at your name. But that day is still far away. For now, you are only 13. You must be patient. You must watch. You must learn. And you must wait. Years pass. You grow. Your body grows strong. Your mind sharpens. But Lu Buwei remains chancellor. Still powerful. And now he has found a new plaything for your mother, a man named Lao Ai. A supposed eunuch, but not really. This impostor was placed in the palace to amuse your mother. Then you hear the news. Your mother is pregnant. By Lao Ai. A scandal for the royal family. A disgrace. Worse, Lao Ai grows powerful. He is no longer just your mother's lover. He tries to form his own army. He acquires lands, mansions. Some say he plans a rebellion. You are now 19. Your coming-of-age ceremony has passed and you are legally seated on the throne. But you are still in the shadows. Until the day comes. In 238 BCE, Lao Ai truly rebels. Using a forged royal edict, he gathers troops and attacks the capital. But you are prepared. For the first time, you wield real power. You call your loyal generals. Lao Ai's rebellion is crushed. Lao Ai is captured. His punishment is horrific. He is executed by the traditional method of being torn apart. His arms and legs are tied to carts pulled in different directions. His body is dismembered. This is the customary penalty for traitors. But it does not end there. Your mother is expelled from the palace. The 2 sons born to Lao Ai are killed. They were innocent children, but they were a threat to you. And threats must be eliminated. Next comes Lu Buwei, the former chancellor. Perhaps your real father. You cannot execute him outright. He is too powerful, too well connected. But you can exile him. And so you do. Lu Buwei is banished to a distant province. Alone and forgotten, he poisons himself a year later. No one stands between you now. You are no longer a puppet. No longer in the shadows. Now you are the true king. And now, your real task begins. Because the Qin kingdom is only one of 7. And you will not be satisfied with being just a king. No. You want them all. You will become the first emperor. You are now the power. You are the absolute ruler of the Qin kingdom. But when you look out at the world, what do you see? Chaos. Fragmented lands. 7 kingdoms, constantly at war with one another. You step outside, onto the terrace of the Great Hall. Your eyes turn west, toward the mountains. Beyond those mountains, lost in the hazy air on the horizon, enemy lands begin. The Han Kingdom. The Zhao Kingdom. Wei, Chu, Yin, and far to the east, Qi. Each with its own armies, its own kings, its own laws. These 7 kingdoms were once part of a single empire, the Zhou dynasty. But the Zhou weakened and the lands split apart. Now you live through 500 years of chaos. Historians call this the Spring and Autumn period and then the Warring States period. But to you these are only names. The reality is simple: the strong survive, the weak are swallowed. Each kingdom is different. Qin, your kingdom, lies in the west in a mountainous region. Harsh land, harsh people. The other kingdoms call you barbarians. Qin savages, they say. But you know that this hardness is your strength. The Qin army is disciplined. Qin laws are strict. And Qin will do whatever it takes to win. To the east is Qi. Rich, cultured, a kingdom of scholars and philosophers. They favor trade over war. Further south lies Chu, with vast territories and wild forests. The people of Chu see themselves as ancient and noble, people of great rivers and rice. To your north is Yan, on the edge of cold steppes. They are constantly fighting barbarian tribes. And in the middle sit Han, Zhao, and Wei. Small but strategically placed kingdoms. No one can be trusted. Today they are your allies, tomorrow your enemies. War is a way of life among these kingdoms. Each spring the armies move. Tens of thousands of soldiers flood enemy lands like a torrent. Villages are burned, fields destroyed, men killed, women and children taken as slaves. The victorious side gains new territory. The loser weakens and waits for the next attack. But war is not only fought with armies. The real war is waged in palaces, in the shadows. Spies are everywhere. A counselor seated at a king's table might be an agent from a rival court. A general's closest friend might be ready to sell him out for gold. You grew up in this world. Since childhood you have listened to war stories, famous generals, clever strategists, traitors, and heroes. And now it is your turn. By your throne stand your most trusted men. First, Li Si, a brilliant jurist and philosopher. He believes in a system called legalism. Legalism says, people are naturally bad and must be controlled with strict laws. Mercy is weakness. Power is everything. A ruler's duty is not to be just, but to maintain order. Li Si tells you, my lord, the Seven Kingdom system is collapsing. The old order no longer works. Either Qin unites them all, or someone else will, and we will be gone. There is no middle ground. The second man is Wang Jian, an experienced general. He has fought for decades. His face is scarred, his hair streaked with gray, but his eyes are still sharp. He tells you the truth of war. Strategy comes after logistics, he says. If you cannot feed an army, no matter how brave it is, it will lose. In Qin we have the best agricultural system. The best roads. That is our secret weapon. And finally Wei Liao, a strategist and theorist. He reads you Sun Tzu's The Art of War. The best victory is the one won without fighting, Wei Liao says. Break your enemies' alliances. Buy off their generals. Break their morale. Then, when they're weak, strike. You listen to these three men. A plan begins to take shape. Qin will unite all seven kingdoms. But it will not happen overnight. It will be a strategy that may take 10 years or more. Every step must be calculated carefully. The first target, Han. The weakest, the smallest kingdom in the east, directly east of Qin. If Han falls, the road to the other kingdoms opens. In 230 BCE your armies move. 60,000 soldiers, bronze-armored, armed with bamboo composite bows, march to Han's border. The king of Han is afraid. He calls for help. But no one helps. The other kingdoms fear each other. Everyone thinks, maybe Qin will stop after taking Han. But you will not stop. Han falls. Its king surrenders and is brought to you as a prisoner. You see him before your throne, chains on his feet. He is an old man, trembling as he kneels. Please, please do not kill me, he begs. You look at him with a cold gaze. Mercy? No. An enemy king cannot live. He is a symbol. And symbols are dangerous. Your orders are clear, the king of Han will be executed. His dynasty will end. Its lands will be annexed to Qin. One kingdom has fallen. 6 remain. The next year it is Zhao's turn. Zhao is stronger, more stubborn. They have a famous general, Li Mu. He has won many battles. But you usually see strategy. Instead of direct combat, you send spies. They carry gold and silver. Whispers begin inside Zhao's court. Li Mu is betraying us, they say. He has made a deal with Qin. The king of Zhao is afraid. He makes a wrong decision. He removes Li Mu from command and replaces him with an inexperienced general. When the Qin army moves, Zhao's defenses collapse. In 228 BCE Zhao's capital falls. Tens of thousands of soldiers surrender. And what do you do to them? Show mercy? No. The surrendered Zhao soldiers are gathered. They all kneel. Your generals give the order. They will all be killed. Why? Because if you free them, they could form an army again. If you keep them as prisoners, they will consume food and resources. The only solution, eliminate them. 40,000 people die that day. Some records say even more. Large pits are dug. Soldiers are forced inside and covered with earth. They are buried alive. You can hear their voices, their pleas and screams. But the orders were given, and the orders are carried out. You receive this news in your palace. An official comes, kneels, bows his head. My lord, the Zhao army has been destroyed, he reports. You nod. Do you feel anything inside? Sorrow? Regret? No. Only calculation. 40,000 fewer enemies. Qin is safer. It is a necessary sacrifice. Li Si stands beside you. He heard the news too. A smile crosses his face. Well done, he says. You are uprooting your enemies completely. This is the right path. And you know, this is only the beginning. One kingdom after another. Slowly the 7 becomes 6, then 5, then 4. Each war becomes bloodier. Each victory is built on a larger grave. But what is your goal? Is it only to conquer kingdoms? No. Something larger. You will build an empire. A system. An order. And for that, the old world must be completely destroyed. Because you, Yingsheng, are no longer just a king. In 221 BCE, when the last kingdom Qi surrenders, you will take a new name, Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor. And that name will be carved into history. In 221 BCE, lands that had been divided for 600 years were finally united under a single authority. You are no longer just the king of Qin. You are Qin Shi Huang. You are the first emperor of China. But taking a title is easy. Truly ruling is something very different. You stand on the terrace of your palace, hands clasped behind your back, eyes fixed on the horizon. Your empire is vast, north to south, east to west. Millions of people. Hundreds of cities. And all of them belong to you. But you see a problem. These people still live under the old king's laws. They worship according to old customs. They carry their old identities. I am from Chu, they say. I am from Zhao. No. That cannot be accepted. There must be only one identity now, a citizen of the empire. Li Si, your chancellor, approaches. In his hands are bamboo documents, the reform plans. My lord, he says respectfully, to unify the empire we must standardize everything. Laws, money, measurements, writing, everything must be the same. You nod. Begin, you say. The first reform, the writing system. Each old kingdom had its own script style. The same word could be written with different characters. This caused confusion. Li Si devises a new standard. They call it the small seal script. From now on, only this script will be used across the empire. Anyone who resists will face severe punishment. The second reform, currency. In the old kingdoms there were many forms of coinage, some shaped like knives, some like spades, some round with holes. From now on there will be one coin, a round bronze piece with a square hole in the center. This is the Qin coin. And everyone will use it. The third reform, measures and weights. In one village a kilo could mean one weight, in another village something different. This made trade difficult. Now there will be standard measures across the entire empire. Standard lengths, standard volumes. Scales will be certified by the government. The fourth, and perhaps most important, reform, roads and carts. Wide roads will be built everywhere in the empire. But more importantly, all carts will have wheels of the same axle width. Why? Because as roads are used, wheel ruts form. If all carts have the same width, these ruts deepen uniformly and roads become easier to travel. A brilliant idea. These reforms are sound in theory. But in practice? People resist. Especially the old aristocracy. The nobles of the former kingdoms lose their power. Their special privileges are removed. Their lands are confiscated. And what is your solution? Forced relocation. You issue an edict, the most powerful families of the old kingdoms must all move to the capital, Xianying. 120,000 households. Millions of people. They leave their homes, their lands, their villages, and are forcibly brought to the capital. Why? Control. If they all live near your palace, they cannot start a rebellion. You uproot them. You strip them of their power. But this is not enough. Weapons are dangerous. If the people are armed, they can revolt. You order, all weapons held by civilians across the empire will be collected. Swords, spears, bows and arrows, everything. What do you do with these weapons? You melt them down. In massive furnaces, tens of thousands of swords are melted. From this bronze you cast enormous statues. 12 great bronze figures. Each weighs 30 tons. Human forms. Giant men. You erect them before your palace. The message is clear: we took your weapons and turned them into monumental art. You can no longer oppose us. At night, you look out from your palace windows at these statues. In the moonlight their bronze faces gleam. They are silent sentinels. Symbols of your power. But you do more than destroy the past. You build the future. Because a true emperor does not only control the present. He also controls the generations to come. And for that you begin your greatest project, a project so large it may not have been seen before in human history, the Great Wall of China. In the north, on the steppes, there are barbarian tribes. They are called the Xiongnu. Mounted archers. Fast, fierce, unpredictable. They constantly strike the borders. They raid villages and take people captive. This must stop. But sending more soldiers is not a sufficient solution. Fighting steppe horse armies is extremely difficult. No. Your solution must be more permanent. A wall. But not an ordinary wall. The greatest wall the world has seen. You entrust the project to your general Wang Jian. He looks at you with doubt. My lord, this is impossible. A wall thousands of kilometers long? How many men will it require? How many years? You answer coldly. As many men as needed. As many years as needed. This is my command. Begin. And so one of history's largest construction projects begins. Millions are forced to work. Soldiers, peasants, prisoners, slaves, all are sent to the northern frontier. The climate is cruel. Winter brings snow and ice. Summer brings searing heat. Working conditions are brutal. People carry massive stone blocks from dawn to dusk. Some stones are so heavy that 20 men must lift them together. Food is scarce. Water is limited. Disease spreads. And people die. They die in great numbers. Some estimates say hundreds of thousands died building the Great Wall. Perhaps 1 million. What is done with the dead? Do they bury them? No time. Some corpses are incorporated into the wall. The wall is made not only of stone and earth, but of bones as well. Human bones. Part of the mortar. Stories spread. Mothers travel north seeking their sons' bodies. Wives try to find where their husbands died. But the wall is so long, so vast, that finding a single corpse is impossible. One day a report reaches your palace. My lord, the workers are revolting. They refuse to work. We cannot endure one more day in this hell, they say. Your orders are cold and clear. Find the leaders of the rebellion. Execute them before the people. Tell the rest, if they do not return to work, they will share the same fate. And it is done. 10 leaders are buried alive. The others watch. Screams and pleas. But no one rescues them. The message is sent. And people return to work. To you, these are only numbers. 100,000 dead? Sorrowful, but necessary. Because the Great Wall will protect the empire. It will protect it for centuries. The suffering of 1 million is a small price for the safety of 100 million. You truly believe this. You believe it from the bottom of your heart. Because you see the world differently from ordinary people. They see individual suffering. You see the flow of history. They live in the present. You think in millennia. And there is one more thing to do for the future. A physical wall alone will not suffice. You must build a mental wall too. You must control people's thoughts. Because the greatest danger does not come from armies. It comes from ideas. In 213 BCE your empire is 10 years old. Roads have been built, walls erected, laws enforced. Yet you remain uneasy. Because in your palace and on your streets there are still voices, dissenting voices. Scholars. Philosophers. Confucians. They keep talking. The old days were better, they say. The old kings were fairer. The old ways were truer. One evening you host a great banquet. The whole court is present. 63 elderly scholars dine with you as honored guests. They praise your achievements, offer toasts, and speak of how great an emperor you are. Then one of them grows too bold. An old Confucian named Zhou Qingqian rises and turns to you. His voice trembles but his resolve is clear. May I speak, my lord? You nod. Speak. My lord, you have done great things. But history teaches that rulers must learn from the past. The old Zhou dynasty endured for centuries because its kings rewarded relatives and nobles with land and power. They gave them authority. Your system centralizes everything. It draws all power to you. That could be dangerous in the long run. The hall falls silent. Everyone holds their breath. You look at Zhou Qingqian, your face betrays nothing. But Li Si, your chancellor, rises in anger. Nonsense, he shouts. The old order failed. That's why 600 years of war followed. Our emperor has brought a new order. And you, old man, would call us back into ancient ruin? Zhou Qingqian does not step back. I only remind you of the wisdom of the past. Confucius said. Confucius. Li Si cuts him off. Always Confucius. Always the old texts. My lord, he turns to you, these men and their books are the greatest threat to your empire. They confuse people. They make them long for the past. And longing is the seed of rebellion. You are silent for a long moment. Your gaze drifts to the red wine in your cup. Then you decide. Li Si, I'll hear your proposal. Li Si inhales deeply. He has waited for this moment. My lord, all dangerous books must be gathered and burned. Historical records, philosophical works, collections of poetry. Especially the works of Confucius and the old chronicles. They glorify the past and make people question the present order. Practical manuals on farming, medicine, divination may remain. But the rest must go. The hall is breathless. Shou Qinchen and the other scholars are stunned. But my lord, someone pleads, these texts hold millennia of wisdom. They are the treasury of our civilization. You answer coldly, civilization is not in the past but in the future. And the future will follow the order I create. It is ordered. A decree, within 30 days all banned books will be delivered to local authorities. Whoever hides them will be punished, that person and their family. The next day the edict is proclaimed across the empire. Drums beat in towns and marketplaces. Officials read the decree aloud. By order of the emperor, all historical records, philosophical texts, and the works of Confucius are to be collected. Anyone keeping them is guilty. And people, frightened, bring out books from their homes, bamboo slips, silk parchments, wooden tablets, and deliver them to central collection points. A great platform is built in the square of the capital, Xianyang. One day the people gather. Thousands of bamboo books are piled high. Torches are brought. Fire is set. Flames rise. Black smoke curls toward the sky. Bamboo snaps and cracks. Millennia of wisdom turn to ash. People watch in silence, some have tears in their eyes, but no one speaks. You watch the smoke from the palace terrace. A feeling of satisfaction wells within you. The past is burning, and from those ashes a new future will be born. But is this enough? Is burning books enough? No. Books can be rewritten. But the men who remember the books, who speak them from memory, are dangerous. A year later, in 212 BCE, a conspiracy is uncovered. Some scholars have secretly gathered. They speak against you. They criticize you. A tyrant, they say. A cruel man. You learn of it. Rage breaks over you. Bring them, you shout. Bring them all. Your spies act. 46 scholars are captured and brought to the palace, old men with trembling hands and frightened eyes. You look at them. You betrayed me. I honored you with feasts, yet you conspired behind my back. My lord, no, they beg. We only spoke. We only thought. Your thoughts are dangerous. Your words are dangerous. Dangerous people must be removed. Your orders are terrible. The 46 scholars are taken beyond Xianyang to a huge pit. There, one by one, they are buried alive. Screams and pleas, please, please. We are only your scholars. But no one listens. Earth is thrown over them, and the voices slowly stop. Your son Fusu, your heir, comes to you pale-faced. Father, is this necessary? They were only old men. Unarmed. You give them a hard look. Fusu, you are still young and naive. Weapons are not made only of iron. Words and ideas are also weapons. And I will destroy every weapon that threatens the empire. Fusu withdraws silently. You see something in his eyes. Fear? Disappointment? Maybe both. That night you lie awake in the dark. You cannot sleep. Your eyes stare at the ceiling. Thoughts crowd your mind. 46 scholars. You recall their faces, old, wrinkled, frightened. Were they truly a threat? Or have you gone too far? No. You forced that thought away. An emperor cannot show mercy. Mercy is weakness. Weak emperors lose their empires. But another thought comes in, perhaps the threat is not only outside. Perhaps it is within you. You have passed 50. Your hair is graying. Your body is not what it once was. And every emperor knows the greatest enemy is death. Death. The inevitable, merciless end. You conquered 7 kingdoms. You built the Great Wall. You burned the past. But death, how can you fight death? From that moment, a new obsession begins, immortality. You are no longer just an emperor. You want to become a god. Because gods do not die. New kinds of supplicants begin to arrive at your court, not scholars, but magicians, alchemists, Taoist priests. They all speak of the same thing, immortality. They mention magic isles, secret plants, sacred mountains. One day a young alchemist is brought before you. His name is Su Fu. He kneels, bows his head, and whispers, "My lord, I know. Beyond the eastern sea there are 3 magic isles, Penlai, Fangzhong, and Yingzhou. Immortal beings live there. And they know the secret of the elixir of immortality." You lean forward, curious. Continue. Su Fu raises his eyes. "If you give me a fleet, young men and women, gifts and supplies, I can sail to those isles. I will fetch the elixir for you." You hesitate not a moment. "Agreed. I will give you whatever you ask. Go, and bring the potion." So Su Fu sails with 3,000 youths and ships laden with gifts. He never returns. Months pass. Years pass. No news from Su Fu. Some say he reached Japan and remained there. But you keep waiting. In the palace's nighttime silence, listening to the sea, you convince yourself the ships may one day reappear on the horizon. While you wait, you try other paths. Palace alchemists prepare elixirs for you, herbs, minerals, metals, heavy smells, bitter tastes, strange liquids. They tell you, these mixtures will make you immortal. Their most trusted ingredient is mercury. The alchemists say, mercury does not rot. It never decays. It is eternal. If you drink it, you will be eternal. Every day a small bowl is brought before you, a gleaming silvery liquid. You raise it without trembling. You swallow. It sears your throat, burns your stomach. But you endure, because this is the path to immortality. Yet as months go by, things change. Your hands begin to tremble. A relentless pain gnaws at your head. You wake at night sweating. Your breath shortens, your heart falters. And the dreams, nightmarish dreams. Dead scholars stare at you, silent, motionless, their eyes accusing. Your doctors grow worried. "My lord, perhaps these elixirs, perhaps they are harming you." But you drive them away. Go! What do you know? This is only a transition. My body is transforming from mortality into immortality. Of course there will be pain. So you continue drinking. More mercury. More elixirs. At the same time you embrace mystical rites. Taoist priests teach you. You climb mountains and meditate in sacred places. You make offerings to the gods. One day you climb the famous Mount Tai, revered and holy, where past emperors came to pray to heaven. You will do the same. The ascent is hard. You are no longer young. Breathless, step by step you climb, surrounded by hundreds of attendants who support and protect you. At the summit the clouds lie beneath you. Wind slaps your face. You look up at the sky and shout, "Gods! I am Qin Shi Huang. I united the 7 kingdoms. I am ruler of the world. Grant me immortality now." Your voice echoes. The sky offers no answer. Only silence. Only the howl of the wind. In that instant a crack forms in your heart, a doubt. Perhaps the gods do not listen. Perhaps immortality is a lie. But you reject that thought. You will find immortality. You are Qin Shi Huang. You never give up. Back at your palace you launch a new project. If you cannot find immortality in this life, perhaps you can in the next. For that, you must prepare. You decide to build your own tomb. But not an ordinary tomb. An underground palace. An underground empire. 246 BCE. The very year you ascended the throne, at only 13, you began the construction of your tomb. Back then, it was just a modest project. But now, it has grown into something colossal. Near the capital, at the foot of Mount Li, you select an immense site. And there, 700,000 laborers begin their work. First, they dig a massive pit into the mountain, so deep that they reach the underground waters. Then, they lay a bronze foundation, waterproof. For your tomb shall never sink beneath the floods. Inside the pit, a palace is built. But this is no ordinary palace. This is a replica of your entire empire. The walls are made of bronze. The ceiling is adorned with precious stones representing the night sky, stars, constellations. And across the floor, rivers flow. But not of water, of mercury. Yes, rivers of mercury. They are pumped mechanically, symbolizing China's great rivers, the Yellow River, the Yangtze. All of them, mercury. Shimmering, poisonous, eternal. Why mercury? Because mercury never decays. And it kills grave robbers. Anyone who dares to enter your tomb will be poisoned by its deadly vapors. Yet the most astonishing part lies elsewhere. Outside your tomb, in vast pits, something extraordinary is taking shape, an army. But not of living soldiers, of clay. The Terracotta warriors. 700,000 laborers toil for days, months, years. Each one handcrafts a life-sized warrior statue. Every face unique. Every hairstyle, beard, garment, and stance different. Each one, individual. These soldiers are equipped with real weapons, bronze swords, spears, bows, and arrows. There are horses, chariots, a full army. 8,000 soldiers. 600 horses. 130 chariots. Why? Because even after death, you will remain an emperor. And an emperor must have an army. These clay warriors will accompany you into the afterlife, and there, they will fight for you. Sometimes, you visit the construction site. You stand before the enormous pits. Thousands of silent soldiers lined up in formation. You gaze into their hollow eyes. For a fleeting moment, you feel something strange, as if they are gazing back. As if they are waiting for you. A worker approaches, kneels, and asks, "My lord, forgive me, but are these soldiers truly for the afterlife?" You look at him. Yes, I shall rule beyond death, and they shall be my army. The worker lowers his head, but you notice fear in his eyes, and you understand why. The workers know, once the tomb is complete, most of them will be silenced forever. And indeed, years later, when the tomb is finished, thousands of workers and artisans are led inside. The gates are sealed, and there they remain, in darkness, eternally. But you do not think of that now. You think only of the grandeur of your tomb. Nothing like it has ever existed. The pyramids of Egypt are vast, but hollow. The Roman mausoleums are splendid, but small. Your tomb, however, is an entire world beneath the earth. In the middle of the night, you sit alone in your palace. Candlelight flickers. Shadows dance across the walls. And you ponder. Death. Can you defeat it? Can you truly become immortal? Or is all of this an illusion? Your mercury elixirs, your enchanted islands, your underground army, are they all in vain? Then, a cough. You raise your hand to your mouth, and between your gloves, you see a stain of red. Wet. Real. Your heart races. No. No, this cannot be. You are immortal. You will not die. But your body does not lie. The mercury is poisoning you, slowly destroying your organs, your kidneys, your liver, your mind. Still, you refuse to accept it. You summon your physicians. Heal me, you command. They bow in despair. My lord, please, stop drinking the mercury elixir. It is killing you. Leave, you shout. What do you know? This is temporary. My body is transforming. I am ascending to immortality. But in the darkness of the night, when you are finally alone, you know the truth. You are dying. Slowly. Painfully. Dying. BC 210. You are 50 years old. For an emperor, this is considered old, but not extremely old. Yet your body feels far older. Every step hurts. Breathing is difficult. And that cough, it worsens every day. But you cannot stop. You embark on a journey to inspect your empire eastward to the coast. Perhaps there, news of Sufu will arrive. Perhaps the elixir of immortality will finally reach you. You travel with a grand retinue, hundreds of officials, guards, and advisors. Your youngest son, Huhai, is with you. Your heir, Fusu, is in the north, supervising the Great Wall. The journey is long, lasting months. In every city, you pause, attend ceremonies, and oversee local officials. Yet with each passing day, you grow weaker. One day, in the town of Shakyu, you can no longer rise from your bed. Your fever is high. Your body trembles. And you know, the end is near. You summon your attendants. Your voice is weak, barely a whisper. A letter, write a letter to Fusu. He must succeed me. Li Si, your chancellor, is beside you. He writes the letter, but does not seal it yet. Waiting, perhaps for your death. That night, you are alone. Your attendants wait outside. Only darkness and your labored breaths. Every inhalation harder, more painful than the last. Memories flood your mind. Yourself at 13, standing before the great throne. Small, frightened, powerless. Then the years pass, wars, victories, deaths. 40,000 Zhao soldiers buried alive. Hundreds of thousands of workers dying on the Great Wall. 46 scholars buried. Books burned. These visions play like a film before your eyes. And you ask yourself, was it worth it? All this blood, all this suffering, for what? An empire. A unified China. But at what cost? Then another thought arises, perhaps you were not a monster. Perhaps you merely did what was necessary. History rewards no mercy. History rewards the victor. And you prevailed. A final breath. Deep, trembling. And then, silence. Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor, has died. But the story does not end there. Your death sparks a conspiracy. Li Si and Zhao Gao, a cunning eunuch, devise a plan. They do not want Fusu as heir. For Fusu is soft, merciful. He favors Confucian scholars. He might undo the reforms. This is unacceptable. They alter your letter. Using your seal, they forge a decree. The letter reaches Fusu. My son Fusu, you have failed. You have disappointed me. For honor, you must commit suicide. Fusu reads the letter. Shocked. Yet it bears his father's command. He must obey. He takes his sword and cuts his own abdomen, harakiri. The heir is dead. Next, the forged decree goes to Hu Hai. Hu Hai, you shall be the new emperor. The young Hu Hai accepts with delight. But what of your body? There is a problem. You died in mid-July, in the heat. Transporting your body to the capital will take days. In that time, the corpse begins to decay. And if the people discover the emperor is dead, panic and rebellion could erupt. Li Si and Zhao Gao devise a ruse. Your corpse is placed in a carriage, but no one is told. They pretend you are still alive. Curtains conceal the body, while attendants bring food and reports as if you still respond. Yet in the heat, the body rots quickly. The smell spreads. People begin to notice. What is this stench? Li Si acts cleverly. He adds rotting fish to the carriage load. The smell seems normal. It is explained, the emperor is transporting salted fish. 2 months later, the retinue reaches the capital. Only then is your death announced. The great emperor has passed. The people are shocked. Mourning is declared. You are finally interred in your magnificent tomb, alongside your 8,000 terracotta soldiers. The gates are sealed. Workers left inside. The tomb's entrance is hidden beneath earth. Centuries will pass, and no one will know its exact location. It becomes legend until 1974. 2,000 years have passed. China has changed greatly. There are no emperors anymore. A communist republic now rules the land. Yet your tomb still lies there, beneath the earth, waiting. One day, near the city of Xi'an, some farmers dig a well. They are searching for water. Shovels cut through the soil. And suddenly, something hard. Not soil. Something different. Carefully, they continue digging. And a head emerges. A human head made of earth. Eyes, nose, mouth. Almost lifelike. The farmers are stunned. What is this? They dig further. A body appears. Then another. Then 10, 20, 100. Archaeologists are called. And when they arrive, they hold their breath. This is one of the greatest discoveries in history. 8,000 terracotta warriors emerge into the sunlight. Each one different. Each one unique. They have been there for 2,000 years, waiting silently in the dark. waiting for you, Qin Shi Huang, and your army. Yet your actual tomb remains unopened. That massive mound, by Mount Li, is still sealed. Archaeologists are wary. Ancient texts mention rivers of mercury. Measurements confirm abnormal mercury levels beneath the earth. If they open the tomb, they might ruin everything. Or perhaps your poisonous traps are still active and could kill them. So your tomb remains hidden. Still there. In darkness. Waiting. But the world remembers you. Qin Shi Huang. The first emperor. The unifier. Tyrant. Visionary. Monster. Genius. You built the Great Wall of China. It still stands today. One of the world's most famous structures. Tourists visit, take photos. But how many know that the wall was built atop the bones of hundreds of thousands? You standardized the written script. That standard is still used in China today. Billions write with your system, you standardized currency, measurements, roads. This laid the foundation for trade, for the economy. The backbone of China's power, but you also burned books. You killed scholars. You forced millions to work relentlessly. You caused suffering. You instilled fear. So, were you a hero or a villain? Historians still debate. Some say he was a visionary. He united a chaotic world. Without him, China would never have become a strong nation. Others say he was a tyrant. He killed millions. He trampled humanity for his own ambition. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Perhaps you were a product of your time. A ruthless man in a ruthless age. A powerful leader, but also a fragile human. A man who sought immortality yet ultimately remained mortal. In the darkness of night, if you quietly visited your tomb, perhaps you would still be there. By your rivers of mercury, amidst your clay army, waiting forever. For immortality. But we know that true immortality does not come from potions. It comes from legacy. And your legacy has endured for 2,000 years. For better or worse, you are a part of history. And your name will remain etched in the pages of time forever. Tonight, we embarked on a long journey together. From the innocence of a child king to the birth of an emperor. From bloody conquests to magnificent constructions. From the quest for immortality to the inevitable end. The story of Qin Shi Huang is a tale of power and ambition, of both the dark and the light sides of human nature. He carved his name into history, but was it with gold, or with blood? The answer to this question is something each of us must find within ourselves. Perhaps the true message whispered by this story is this: great achievements demand great sacrifices. But is every sacrifice justified? Does power make everything right? Or are there lines that must never be crossed, lines no ruler, no emperor should ever cross? These questions are not easy. And their answers will not be simple. But asking them, reflecting on them, is part of our humanity. Now, in the stillness of the night, you lie comfortably, far from the chaos of the modern world, immersed in the tales of an ancient era. Qin Shi Huang died 2,000 years ago. Yet his story still lives on, in dark rooms, on silent nights, in the imagination of curious souls like ours. And perhaps, even now, far away in China, beneath Mount Li, in that underground palace, among 8,000 terracotta soldiers, Qin Shi Huang still sits. By the rivers of mercury, beneath the star-studded ceiling. He is still waiting. Still dreaming, the dream of immortality. Tonight's journey comes to an end. From the dark corners of history, from the shadows, we return. I hope this story has been inspiring to you, or at least thought-provoking. Thank you for joining me on this long journey tonight. Together, we have traveled from the truths of the past to the birth of legends. I hope you will return for more stories. Many tales await us, hidden in the shadows of history. I wish you a calm and peaceful night. May your eyes close, your mind rest, and your dreams be filled with the grandeur and tragedy of ancient empires. Good night.